man refuses to grow up. And he is somebody, the minute he walks into the room, every woman will skip a heartbeat. Do every woman agree to that? See, even men agree to that. With not much ado, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, please put your hands together to call an actor, producer, a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist, and a son, a very dedicated son of a great legend. Please welcome the man himself who carries the fountain of youth with him wherever he goes, Akkineni Nagarjuna. Long years. So that doesn't show our age, so don't worry about that. But tell me, I want to speak about your dad. I've never had the opportunity or the privilege to meet him. I've never had the opportunity to work with him. But I want to know from you what it takes to be the son of A&R.
ముందుగా అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Very good morning. Ask what you asked, what it takes to be an son. It is, how do I put it? It starts from a very, very young age, seeing this man who is larger than life and growing up in the same house and seeing his qualities, seeing his achievements. I don't know where to start. You have to help me. So if you help me, I will start from there.
Let me start. See, we all normally grow up in a family and we know that Amma unaru, Nana garu unnaru, andaru unnaru, Nana garu bayatiki pani cheyadaniki veltunnaru, malli intiki vastaru. Kani, for you, when did it dawn upon you that you are not born into a normal family? Your father is not a normal person. He is somebody people actually worship. Not only as an actor, but as somebody who's given so much to the society. So when did it dawn upon you in your young age that I am his son? Oh wow.
When I was very young, when we were all very young, all my siblings and myself, it really never dawned upon us because he was so ordinary, normal father at home. And he would come, treat us with compassion, and I don't ever remember him shouting at me, or raising his hand against me. I think my mother took all that credit. But there was always love, there was always smiles when he was around. He made sure of that. And somewhere he imbibed in us, even at a young age, my job is to make him feel proud. Somewhere that he taught us that. So that's all we were thinking of most of the time. Ila cheste nannagaru chala happy ga feel avutaru. But you didn't expect that from us. And that's, I think, is a very unique quality of any human being. We were never in fear of him. We were always in awe of him. Respect, love. So that he taught us in a very simple way.
And I think what I've heard about it is that, his compassion towards the family, that how the family has to stay together, actually is taken forward by you, your siblings, everyone, even your children. And I believe that whenever you were in Hyderabad, you used to be in Hyderabad, you would make sure that you have lunch with your parents. So,
yes.
Yes? Yeah. So, why was that? Because in today's times, we don't see that. We are so busy. Even if mommy calls, I'm like, I'll call you later, I'm busy. But that quality, spending time with your family.
Because it was wonderful. It was stressful.
He was a very happy person.
He was a very happy person. I mean, before I talk about his work and all of that, I definitely want to talk about what we are talking. Even his presence, his aura was so strong. I remember even at the age of 55 or, till he went away, if I was feeling happy, I would head towards his house. If I was feeling sad, I would go towards his house. Not because I was expecting anything, but just going towards his house, sitting there with him for 5 minutes, would say everything is all right, no problem at all. So that was the kind of aura he generated within the family, and that was really, really wonderful for all of us. And even now, anything, maybe our whole family doesn't get together for all the occasions that happen. But if it is Father's occasion, everybody will show up. All 20 of us. We will be there. Because this award is spread to all of us.
That's great, imbibing the qualities of respecting and loving your family. Now, your dad didn't have a very simple life. He had seen a lot of struggles, being born into a poor farmer's family. And then I believe he used to help his mother in family chores, helping her cooking and doing all the chores at home. But he always had a passion for acting. He would imitate in front of the mirror, and his mom used to be, or grandmom used to be his audience.
Yes, yes.
So has he ever shared those thoughts with you?
Yes, of course he shared those thoughts with us. When he started, he came from a very humble family, very humble beginning, a farmer's family. And it was near Gudivada in AP, Andhra Pradesh. Not Andhra Pradesh, I was a Madras residency then. Yeah, then from a village which didn't have electricity. And he had come from there. He had to. My grandmother always wanted to have a woman child, and there were no women children then, and so she used to dress him up in. I guess these things which led him to be an actor. That's why I'm telling you all of this. Dress him up in pleats and things like that, and he used to look very, very cute and pretty. That's what happened, and in those days, women were not allowed to act on stage. They could not be actors or be on stage. So he started playing a woman's role, a girl's role. He first became a heroine on stage at a very, very young age of 15 or whatever. I don't remember. We still have the photograph of him that dressed up like a girl. He looked exactly like my older sister, Satya. As fate took its turn through its dice, he was at a railway station, and one famous producer, Vikansan Balramanagar, he saw him from his seat, him walking, and he said, nice eyes, nice nose, nice this thing, whatever he thought of them. Called the boy and said, would you like to act? And the rest is history. So,
that was way back in 1944.
Yeah.
His very first film.
Yeah.
As a lead.
As a lead. Yeah. And he went to Chennai, of course, this little boy, along with his older brother, who took him, who was like his father to him, because my grandfather expired by then. And my father, I distinctly remember telling him that he was swaying his hips. He thought acting was that because he played a girl all this in drama and stage. And people started making fun of him, and that really dejected him. And he went to Gandhi Beach, Marina Beach, in Chennai, and he said he wanted to kill himself because there was so much laughter and all of that. And actually, he told me, I remember him telling me, he almost went down waist deep into water going in. And then something said, no, I have to prove everybody wrong. And he came back and he corrected himself. And he played that Sri Rama in that film. I also said his voice was very weak and feeble. So he used to go early in the morning to the beach, and somebody told him that if you smoke a cigar, it gets more rough. And he used to smoke a cigar. He never used to smoke till then, a cigar. And then he would scream at the ocean for 10 minutes, 20 minutes to make his voice more hoarse. And because there was no dubbing or anything then, it is your own voice which is being used, or whatever it is. But fortunately for him, his first film was a silent film. So his voice was never used. And I distinctly remember him telling his first film screening also. It was in a single theatre somewhere in Andhra, I think in Vijayawada, where they all went. And it was a silent film. And the orchestra was sitting in front of the screen, and they were playing the background score. And there was one female and a male vocal, and they were giving lip to the dialogues. So that's where he started his journey, and that film became a huge success. And it released in only in 2 theatres. Then it would move to different towns.
Wow. You know, when you look at these incredibly remarkable journey of your father, we always believe, in fact the entire Telugu industry believes, that how he has been the actual foundation of Telugu cinema industry that it is today. It was in Chennai.
Yes.
He was the foundation who brought it to Hyderabad, saying that no, because it's Telugu, it has to be in Andhra Pradesh, and we need to start something which is for the people of Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
So what made him to move to Andhra Pradesh?
Chennai, and I remember our house in Chennai also in Adyar. I was just 3.5 years old then. The state split. Chennai had become, the AP state was carved out, and that was in 57, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. At that point, he said Telugu films, my bread and butter is being earned from the Telugu people, Telugu industry. And my culture, I'm making Telugu films, my culture comes from Telugu. He's very strongly rooted to his culture, very, very. Even until he was almost 75, only used to wear a dhoti, other than for films. This thing, and he said, I'm earning from the Telugu people. I want to pay my taxes to the Telugu people. This is all his words. It's a rich culture. We have to promote it. So he moved to Hyderabad in 1963, and from then he wanted to start a facility to make film studio. There was no studios except there was one small studio called Salvi Studio, but it wasn't enough. But along with the building a studio is okay, you can build it. But the infrastructure, the musicians, all the technicians, all that have to move. That is not an easy job at all. And he built this, so he was always he was fearless that way. He said, let us build and they will come. Yes, that's what he always believed.
I think that was his passion for cinema, because the minute you talk about Annapurna Studios, in today's times where you see studios being shut down and malls and something else coming up, I would like to tell the audience, and I'm sure all of you know, that Annapurna Studios is one of the biggest and the most thriving studios of our country. And it is not in the studios, when you talk about the studios, the words of your father says, cinema is my passion, and building cinema's prosperity is why Annapurna Studios have been built. So his passion for cinema has been great. And I must say, you take the legacy forward. You know, for someone like you who's been a big star from a very first film yourself, you probably wouldn't have taken up on you to continue doing the studio. But today, Annapurna Studios is also coming up with the biggest AI studios, with the newest technology of the world, giving it to the Indian audience. You have a film institute which gives a lot of hope and you allow the young minds to flourish. What brings Nagarjuna to take the legacy forward?
Yeah, if you ask me that, it still goes back to my father. It was his vision. It was his vision that moves us forward. And we see greatness in his vision. That's what drives us to move forward. I won't take all the credit. It's just not me. It's the rest of my family who are all into this, who all like to move this forward. And so we started building this, taking it forward. And his vision was to have the best studio, um, the best infrastructure, the latest of technology. And we are very, very proud to say that we are preferred by right now by Netflix and Amazon Prime. And we have one of the largest virtual production screen, which is about 60 feet by 20 feet height. And we have dedicated a whole section for that. And when most of the top films, all the post-production gets done, we have the largest DI suites in the country there. And we have, I'm showing off a little bit, I need to sell my studio here. So, and when Rajamouli Garu wanted to do Triple R in Dolby Vision, there was no facility anywhere in India. And that was one of the, he had to go to Germany to complete it, to do the thing. So at that point, to the family, we all decided we're going to have the Dolby Vision, Dolby Cinema in our studio. So it's here now. It's here now. Hopefully, we will be able to launch it with Pushpa 2. Yeah. So, Dolby Vision, Dolby Cinema and Dolby Sound is one. And the Dolby Atmos Theatre is one of the 12 in the world. And we have it in India with us. Dolby Cinema is the first one in India. And we are exclusive to the Dolby. People came and visited us. And they loved our facilities and they made us exclusive in India. No, if anybody in India wants to Dolby Cinema, they have to come to us.
That's great. But tell me something now, coming to you, we've been speaking of latest infrastructure or the new age cinema, what we talk about. Does it also come because you are something to do with mechanical engineer? Does it come with that too?
No, it really doesn't come. But it definitely, any kind of education, whatever kind of education it is, I think it sharpens your mind, it makes you go into a kind of a discipline and you approach every problem in a certain way instead of a very, what do you say, not in the right way. You approach in the correct path. So father also had, for that reason, since he brought up education in mechanical engineering, father also had the vision of saying that there's a college, there's something for all kinds of crafts, but not for cinema, not for filmmaking. We were never trained. Our training is as good as our boss. If the director, for an AD, if the director is good and he's open about teaching his students, the AD start growing. They open up their mind. If the director is not like that, they always stay there. They never give them a chance. So he wanted to teach the basic skills of filmmaking. Started this, and there's a long journey for that college. It went, and now it's in a place where we're very proud of it. And not just my immediate family, my family which came from outside, Amala, she takes care of it. She takes care of it beautifully, and we are training there. And that is also state of the art. It is affiliated to JNFAU, so we actually give students a degree there.
That's lovely. But I would like to tell the audience that, when he's talking about mechanical engineering and how it's learning, I have learned a thing or two from him. I don't know if you remember, we were shooting in Visakhapatnam.
Yes.
And we all used to be, there were no hotels, so we all used to be in guest houses. And I would eventually, every other day, wake him up at 2 in the morning because my AC would conk off. And then I would wake him up and say, now my AC isn't working. So he would go down. And those days you used to have that fuse, So you coil it, and poor guy, he would sit in the mid-morning, coiling that and fixed it. And then he got so fed up that he taught me how to do it. So he said, don't wake me up, you do it yourself. So I've learned a thing or two from you. But, coming to family values, I see how close-knit family you are, whether you, your children, or Amla, or everyone around. You pass on that to your children too.
Yes.
That, whatever happens, the family has to stay together. You have to stay together at the right time, not necessarily being there for each other everyday basis physically, but you need to be connected with each other.
Yeah.
So how important is that? And the most important thing is, how is that you pass on those values to your children of today's generation? Because there are a lot of youngsters who probably miss out on that part. And this is one thing which I want you to tell. When you talk about Akkineni family, they know that, okay, that's where they are united.
Yes, it was. I don't know where I believe. I'm not going to say my father never told me this, but I completely believe that finally, after everything is done, what you're left is with your family. You can achieve this, you can achieve that, you can achieve greatness and all that. And finally, somewhere, when you come back home, you're with your family. And that is it's a very strong driving force for me to imbibe these values. I think somewhere we picked it up from father. Because finally it was him. I mean, he would, there are many times when I came back from work, 2 in the morning or something, and my father wasn't working and everybody was asleep. And he knew he would be waiting there. My father, who was a superstar himself, who was a legend himself, he'd be waiting there to make sure food was there for me. So all these things, I think they just imbibe in me.
Just imbibes in you.
Yeah.
Now, before I take the QA from the audience, I want to know from you, was there a pressure on you that you have when you became an actor, that you have to live up to the legacy of Nata Samrat?
Oh God, what pressure. There was a lot of pressure. రాత్రి చెమటలు పట్టి రాత్రి పొద్దున్న వెళ్ళి కెమెరాని ఫేస్ చేయాలంటే టు ఫేస్ ది కెమెరా I would wake up in cold sweat. So
does the comparisons bother you?
No, it's not the comparison, it's the pressure you put on yourself. And he was Dada Saheb Phalke awardee, Padma Bhushan awardee. There's so many things happen everywhere. And when you walk, he walks on the street. When he used to go along with him, the crowds that used to follow us, all of that, and then you going facing the camera. And that cameraman I knew who probably shot my father through his lenses 20 times, and the director probably directed him. And here I am making a fool of myself in front of him.
Fool of yourself?
Yeah.
Look at the man who's talking.
So it took a long time to grow out of that. It took a long time to grow out of that. I had to find my own path finally, and I would like to dedicate that, since you're asking about me, to when I walked away from what filmmaking was at that time was done. I said, I cannot be like my father or all the other actors on stage. I want to be presented new. And I found Mani Ratnam. I remember standing in front of his house. If you speak to him at 6 or 7 in the morning for about a month, every other week, every other day, because I saw his film Maunaraga. And I loved it. And so you stand in front of his house. And I said, Mani, why don't you make a Telugu film? And he said, no, I don't know how to speak Telugu. How can I make a Telugu film and all of that? Then I used my business sense a little bit to convince him. I said, "You expand your horizon. Telugu and Tamil cultures are both the same. They both love. You see Telugu films run here and Tamil films run here. I think that is an MBA, right?
Yeah. Businessman.
So it worked for him. And I think that film changed my path.
Gitanjali.
Changed my path. And as I was shooting Gitanjali, I knew what I was doing is right. Then I got hold of Ram Gopal Verma. And that really put me up. I'm not saying they are better actors or I'm a better actor or anything. It just, I found my path from those two films.
Okay, so that was the journey of Nagarjuna, and through his eyes we have seen what Nata Samprat was all about. And the legacy will continue till the cinema industry survives. The legacy of A&R is going to live forever. People like A&R, they never go away, they just live forever. And we are so glad that we have another legend with us, like his son, and who's passing on the legacy to his children, and they're going to take it forward. So now I'm going to throw the question QA to the audience, but before that, my personal question: where's the bottle of eternal youth? Where's the potion, magic potion?
It's all in your eyes.
Not me. Okay, you're talking about me. Let me ask the audience, how many of you want to know what is the secret of his eternal youth? Sir, it's not the women, even the men want to know.
I really don't have an answer. Please don't ask me this question.
Alright, so we're going to throw the questions open to the audience. Mics are ready? Who has the mic here? Okay. I hold an exclusive rights about that with Nag. So, anything else? So, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Chaitanya played A&R in Mahanati.
Yeah.
Sumant played A&R in NTR biopic. So when we can expect A&R biopic film, and who would you like to play as an A&R in that one? Thank you.
A&R biopic, to talk about A&R's biopic, I feel we always talked about it, even father and we all talked about it. I think it's better we make a documentary on his life, more than a biopic. To make a picture, a movie out of it, it is going to be very difficult, because my father's life was like this, and he carved a path like that, and it will be very boring to make a film. So, I'm being very honest. So, for a film, you need the ups and downs of ups and downs. You need to tell a story, and we'll have to fictionalize it a lot. His path was just, he was a very gifted man that way, and so we'll make a documentary of his film, but with A&R playing himself.
Alright. Can we pass the mic to the lady here? In the front? Front, the first row.
Hello sir, my name is Avanti. I'm from SMDT Media. I'm a media student. My question is that what was your father's long-term vision looking to the Telugu industry, and how is it playing out today in today's industry?
His long-term vision, actually, my father, I remember him saying that his vision was that he wanted all of India to come and work there, what he was doing. And in my mind, I always is thinking, why will, rest of India come and work in Hyderabad or in his place? And I think he was a visionary that way. And he always said language had no barrier. It will move, it will go. And that was his vision. I don't know if I answered your question right. I couldn't hear most of it.
Okay, no, she said, yeah, I think you have actually answered her question. Okay, to the man in the yellow shirt behind.
Hi, Naksha, this is Prakash from Gulte.
Mike, కొద్దిగా
Can you hear me?
feedback mention. Can we just increase the
Hi,
feedback?
hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi Naksha, this is Prakyat from Gulte, Tollywood website.
From Gulte.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so when we go search Devadasu on YouTube, we find a 360 or 720p version. We are celebrating restored classics here in Goa, all the 4K versions and all. But when we go on YouTube and search Devadasu, we find a 360p or a 720p video. So how about taking all the classics of your father and restoring it and making it available free on YouTube?
It's easier said than done. Restoring the classics is going to be very, very difficult, all of them. We have restored 7 so far, but most of the negatives and the positives have been destroyed. They're not there and they were never kept. Nobody had the vision at that time to do it. My father has about 30 of his negatives, which we have restored. So, yes, once all these are restored, they will be on the Annapurna website, which we'll definitely put them. But unfortunately, a lot of producers at one time have sold all rights to channels. That includes the digital rights, all the future exhibition rights. They did not know. They were fooled by some of the channels and they were picked up for a very cheap, very less price at that time. So we're trying to negotiate with them that we will share the revenue with them or whatever. It's a work in progress, but it's not the problem with A&R's films only. It's a problem with all Indian films.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. Yeah.
On your personal front, after a long time you are collaborating with other industry people, with Cooley or Kubera coming up. So what can we expect?
Yes, I'm doing Lokesh Kanagaraj's film, Cooley. He's, how do we call it? He's not Gen Z, but I believe he's a Gen Z kind of a filmmaker. He's excellent and he's very a new kind of filmmaking I'm noticing, even in the characters and even in the screenplay and all of that. And I'm really, really enjoying it because it is very liberating playing his character. There is no holds. He does not say a character or a person has to behave like this, a hero has to behave like this, a villain has to behave like this, or something like that. It's very liberating, and I'm looking forward for that. Same thing with Shekhar Kamala's Kubera, which I'm working with Dhanush. The Cooley was with Mr. Rajnikant. Yeah. So this is with Dhanush. This is also very, Shekhar Kamala is very realistic. It's a completely different kind of filmmaking. So I'm enjoying that too. I'm experimenting now. I'm very happy.
All the best.
Thank you. Can we have a mic this side, please? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Raghuvira Reddy from Annapurna Studios. I'm a diploma in acting.
You're from Annapurna Studios?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Honorable Akkineni Nageshwar Rao, how he would be like manage his time as an actor, as a family person, as an iconic person in his life journey. Can you experience it?
Could you be a little louder? Because your mic, that mic is not very clear, it's very muffled.
Okay.
Can you be a little louder?
Akkineni Nageshwar Rao, sir, how he would be like manage his time with his acting life and his personal life and his iconic in a society person, iconic society.
How would he manage his time?
Yeah.
Okay, they want to know how Dad would manage the time as an actor, as a family man, as a philanthropist who would serve the society.
Did he manage? I really don't know. I can't. So, but he was very, very clear in his head. Very crystal clear in his head. Fearless. He did what he wanted. And he used to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So he had a long hours to go through.
I think if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah.
There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we take something from there behind? Yeah. Give it to the person with the cap. Yeah. Anything. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. I'm Dr. Manoj Sharma. I'm a professor in JNU, Delhi. And I also work on films. I'm a film historian. So my question is that when you see the life journey of A&R, sir, So he has worked in a lot of devotional films. And you also talked about the value systems at home. So I just want to know whether working in such kind of a cinema and having that kind of a value system, are they related in any way?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. A&R worked in a lot of devotional films. He had one reason for that. If you've noticed, he did Kalidas, Vipranarayana, Bhakta Tukaram, and one more thing was there.
I think he was a cultural ambassador. He played every
Yes,
possible
yeah.
saint and poet.
So every possible saint and poet, he said he wanted the Telugu people to know the culture of India. That was his main reason that he worked in his films. He brought that faith, that culture into Andhra Pradesh at the time. And I think family values and faith, and doesn't come from devotion or the way you live doesn't. Those are two different things, you know. So I really don't know how to put that to you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Hi sir, my name is Rohan. I was just wondering about how your father chose his script selections. You said that he was a very versatile actor, and how has that affected your script selections today?
My A&R always looked into the depth of the film. He always looked into the depth of the scripts. Is there something behind subconsciously telling the people to uplift their life or their journey in life? For me, it is very at that. I don't look that deep. For me, it is the association with the director and the scriptwriter, what I feel at that time, and I look at the relevance. If the script is relevant to today's age and time, that is very, very important, and that's how I select my scripts.
You know, Lal, I must tell, since this question came up about dad selecting films, it's a known fact that your father has never spoken double meaning dialogues. And I believe he refused to get out of a car because the song they were supposed to do had some very sleazy or vulgar lines.
Yeah.
So your dad has never done that.
No, he refused.
So
many times he walked out of the set.
He walked out of the set. So, you know,
yeah.
I think those values where you respect in today's times when we are talking about how women are being portrayed on cinema, you have the legacy of A&R where even those times he refused to speak ill about women or to say double meaning dialogues or walk out of the sets because the songs had double meaning in it or some sleazy lines. So, and I think everyone follows that. And we are running short of time, so is there any more questions? Okay, you've been waiting for long.
Hi sir, I'm from Annapurna College of Film and Media.
Oh wow.
All your students.
So before going to ask your question, sir, I would like to share that my mother is a big fan of you, and my name is Abhiram from Manmadudu, and my brother's name is Karthikeya from Santosham Film.
Oh.
And the question is, sir, what are the advices you are going to give for all the filmmakers over here?
Let me ask you a first question myself. How do you like Annapurna College of Film and Media?
Sir, I really like Annapurna College of Film and Media. The reason why I joined in Annapurna College of Film and Media is because of you, sir. My mother is very big fan of you.
Then your mother made you come and join.
Even I have passion to join in Annapurna College of Film.
I'm glad that you told me that reason.
Anand, you have a question? Okay. Yes, sir has to answer, of course.
Yeah. What do I pass on to young filmmakers? It's a very difficult question to answer. What do I pass on to filmmakers? It is, if I say hard work, that's a very cliched thing. It's a very, very cliched thing. To be at the right time, at the right place, that's also the cliched thing. It is something which you need to manifest into yourself. You need to wish for it. You need to wish for it to happen. And you need to go keep at it what you want to achieve. And this just doesn't go for filmmaking, it goes into for anything in life. You need to want it so badly that it happens to you. That's all I can tell you.
Yes, Anand, your question.
Yeah. Hi, Nag sir. This is Anand Kumar. I'm from Delhi. I'm here. Now I work in Bombay. I make Hindi films. And to join film industry, it was one film, that was Shiva. And that was the first time I had sleepless nights in Delhi. I didn't know where is this taking me in 91, I think. And,
Yeah, it was 90.
90. Being from Delhi, it's not a place where, there is a lot of filmmaking happening or something like that. So just getting into the college, this was one film, it just kept, it was just there in my mind. And 3 or 4 times I went to Plaza, watched that film, and that's it. I thought that I have to get into this industry.
सवाल क्या है उनसे?
सवाल ये है कि how did you choose Ram Gopal Verma to come and direct? Because I think it was his first film, and you coming from such a big legendary family. How did that? What was that one thing which came into mind that he can be my?
If you remember my earlier answer,
Yeah.
I was looking for to change my path itself.
That's right.
In films, I did not want to be like the other actors, or the other films I was not comfortable with. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I was not comfortable.
Right.
And with the Gitanjali, with Mani sir, that happened. And at that time, Ram Gopal Verma was pitched a script to me,
Yeah.
and I liked his sensibilities.
Right.
And every scene he had told me in the film, he had a philosophy behind it. Why he created that film. He was greatly influenced by Bruce Lee and Ayn Rand and one other, of course, Godfather.
Yeah.
He was very much influenced by those films, and he had given a theory for every sequence, every dialogue which was mentioned in that film. He would say why he wrote it, and that impressed me a lot. And maybe he was a great salesman, which he
No, sir,
marketed.
I got the answer. It is so beautifully now you described it. That was there in my mind. How? Because you were anyway a big star.
Anand, too many questions.
Yeah. No, questions. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think we need to wind up because we have other sessions, and I think we have been taking really long time with Nag sir. So I would like to say thank you so much, Nag,
Thank you
for being with us, for sharing your thoughts. I mean, it takes amazing talent